Hello, everybody. Let me start by just saying שהחיינו, שהגיענו. Thank goodness, ברוך אתה אדוני, שהחיינו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Thank goodness that we reached this point. From now on, a lot of things I hope would be different. It's a new psychology that we would have to adopt now. A lot of people were motivated by the hostages when they were fighting, but the fight is not over. Spoiler alert. And there needs to be an adjustment right now to rework and rewire the psychology of us, the world, whoever's involved. So here's the interesting part. I had explained before, and also to people that protest for the hostages, that you need to understand what Hamas, the Gazans, what they're most afraid of. And I knew and I thought that no matter what we do, it would take a lot for us to be the scariest thing that they can endure. And we probably wouldn't be that factor, especially not with the current psychology of the people. So one thing that was, is there something wrong? Is there my mic is the wrong way? Sorry. All right, so why only male hostages? What happened to the women hostages? They were released before. So the women hostages, there is just one body left of a woman in Gaza. And I don't know if they returned all the bodies yet, but they didn't return all the bodies. I don't know if they returned hers. And there are two hostages that are with an unknown situation. One of them is Nepalese. So one is, I think, Nimrod something, and the other one is a Nepalese guy, not an Israeli, that also is unaccounted for, and his situation is unknown. All right, so let me explain a couple of things. First of all, without obviously the fierce bombing of Gaza City itself, that would have not happened. The other thing that had to happen is, and because that stationed Israel as being truly a fearful force, right? So the Gazans are like, okay, at this point they are, there is nowhere in Gaza that is off limits. So we don't like that lifestyle. And we have to regroup and rethink how we move from there, because they have not given up. And October 7th is still the happiest days of their lives till now. Yes, so Wonder Freeman, of course, thank you for the spoiler. Israeli work in Qatar also shook the tree. Okay, so let me explain. So I explained on my channel before that to understand how to get the hostages back, you need to understand what the Hamas is most afraid of. And when I say Hamas, I mean specifically the ruling gang in the whole of Gaza, because there are a lot of different Hamas groups in Gaza, and they're all the same. And the second thing is to understand who the Gazans are afraid of and what stops the Gazans, all right? So when I explained it to one of the protesting friends of mine in private messages, but I think I also laid out the situation here in this channel before, the Gazans were the most afraid of other Arab nations. So they were most afraid of the Muslim nations, and the Hamas was most afraid of the Gazans. So what shifted the psychology completely, and you could see it in the Gazan field, is the fact that the whole Arab world, the whole Muslim world, had signed the agreement that the hostages needed to be released. Meaning this is critical. So people, I think, don't understand how much Netanyahu is a genius and needs to get credit. Without rallying the entire Islamic world, without bombing Qatar, without threatening the Islamic world, I'm guessing in various ways, or bribing them, tempting them, all of them, it would have not happened. Because the Gazans, the only reasons they were like, oh, it's not worth it to keep holding the hostages. We need to rethink our strategy. The Gazan people, the civilians, the citizens, they're all Hamas, except there are several types of Hamas in there. They have like their minor disputes. Okay, so this is an incredible fit without rallying the entire Islamic world, and the Islamic world being, what? They admitted defeat, right? When they did that, they actually allowed the Gazans to be like, it's not worth it to hold the hostages anymore. The strategy is not worth the suffering, right? So now the assumption, the hope is that Israel would run out of fuel and Gaza would regroup, and the base of operations would probably move to Judea and Samaria and the rest of the Arab world to coordinate again a multi-frontal attack that would devastate Israel. That's the plan. And the hostages, they were something that they had assessed would be an asset, and but a lot also thanks to the pressure from Israel, but not only. The problem with this pressure from the hostages, first of all, yes, there is a high price Israel is paying now. It is not a complete defeat that Hamas had. They didn't cave in. They didn't just release the hostages. They got a lot of terrorists back, and basically that means that now they are they have a lot of new people, the best of the best, the brightest minds, to start rethinking the next operation. That probably will happen soon enough. So the hostage situation, after some time, they were like, okay, if we release them, then we can now regroup, we can now do something different. And the Gazans, who are pawns that the rest of the Arab world is using, they feared that if they would probably take action on their own and release the hostages and calculate those calculations all by themselves, then they're screwed. They would be screwed by the rest of the Arab world. And there are so many ways to do that. So when the Netanyahu and Trump managed to probably threaten some, bribe others to unite and say, hey, release the hostages, then that is the moment you could see the shift in the rhetoric of the Gazans in social media and in general, where they said, you know what, the hostages themselves, like this, it's not worth it. And the other thing, why did it take longer than that? So you'd actually, so the first hurdle, right, that the Gazans wouldn't want to release was unplugged. Now the situation of Hamas itself still being afraid or still being under danger, in a dangerous position, because there's obviously unpleasantries that accompanied their management styles. The Hamas itself had to reevaluate and see what it is their situation in Gaza, make sure they are rebuilding quickly, like to see that they have and the biggest clan, that they are still the biggest clan. And once they confirmed that and made sure that they're going to get reinforcements of a lot of arc terrorists that would rejoin their ranks, then that is when they were like, okay, we can handle the dissidents and the people who had voiced their anger in the Gazan community. And when they realized, okay, we are the biggest clan, and they ensured that they would be the biggest clan also by this prisoner release, and that they would have their hierarchy, like a plan to rebuild themselves, like hierarchically, not as a military force against Israel, but first of all as a military force against other clans inside of Gaza. This is when they were like, okay, no, we can do this. And now what we can see throughout Gaza is executions. So this is why we saw Hamas, they whether they themselves are the ones that executed, for example, Mr. Fafo, or if it was other clans. It's there are different versions of this story that are running around. I wouldn't be surprised if it is Hamas itself that had killed him. So now we can see, and we saw that there are a lot of executions straight in on the streets of Gazans who probably voiced any type of criticism against Hamas. So the first thing that has to be dismantled is the psychological fear of the Gazans from the reaction of the Muslim world if they, as the people who represent Islam at its mightiest, would quote unquote surrender. So that hurdle was taken away when it was the whole Arab world that said, hey, the Qataris realized that Qatar is in fact not immune to bombs dropped, and that for some reason they explode even on their own sacred desert land. And so that hurdle was taken away. So the Gazans started saying, hey, I don't think the hostage, the people holding strategies is worth it anymore, and it would probably really take away the willingness of many Israelis to continue fighting. And because a lot of Israelis are so stupid, but I think that was the fear. But I talking to Israelis and hearing Israel and even leftists, I'm pleasantly surprised to tell you all that the Israelis understand that it's not over. Thank goodness. But for them to have the proper motivation to keep fighting, it's not just that you need to fight. You also need to have something that would give you motivation, and that kind of drive and psychology needs to come from a different place now. After so many had based their motivation on that cause. So there needs to be a psychological realignment and redefining of the goals and a lot of things now. So in Nate here, are you attacking Israelis now? You're against everyone? No, I'm not against everyone. I think stupidity is how do I say it? Stupidity is is a virtue that everybody is suffering from. I'm not a racist. I just think there are different types of stupid. So that is the situation right now. The Arabs are rebuilding a new strategy, and the Israelis need to find a new way to motivate themselves. Yes. So that's where we're at. So yeah, so just let me reiterate the last point between the statement of the Arab nations that they would not avenge. Basically, this is how it was heard, that they would not avenge or take revenge on the Gazans for releasing the hostages. The Hamas had to make sure that they are still the ones that would be able to eliminate all the other clans. And once they assured that, the problem was, the thread was untangled. So rest assured that this war is not over at all. But let's have some fun and see some things. So it's 5 minutes. By the way, happy Simchat Torah, happy Shminat Atzeret. Good holidays, good time. 5 minutes ago it had entered, so now we are obligated to be happy and celebrate the holidays. And obviously being online is not ideal, but okay, I think I can spare a couple more minutes. So because I just want to show some nice heartwarming moments to celebrate. And now we're going to be only happy because Simchat Torah and Shminat Atzeret, which in Israel are fused, had entered, and we must be celebratory. All right. I think, yes, we need to have some celebratory music. I agree. Which one? I don't know if Yala and Asala is like appropriate now. No, this doesn't. It's different. We need more uncopyrighted kind of music. All right, let me share my screen with you. How am I doing, Rebecca? I'm doing good. Good. Great. Hi. You know, I start with a clear, like, you know, it's Israelis, you know. It's a very Jewish thing of me that first, like, you know, make sure that nobody's forgetting their missions, making sure that nobody's forgetting the situation in general. And now that we had made all that clear, we can just be happy and celebrate with everyone on X and the way they are. So Trump to Netanyahu, you know why you're so popular? Because you know how to win. He's a very smart guy. And also, I want to say that he 100% understands that the war is not over and that the deal is not ideal and that the situation is problematic and that the war must go on. And his team and the government's team was very worried about it. But on the other hand, they also understood that the army is built out of people, and the people are the country, you know, and they needed that. There was a large segments of the country that was breaking down mentally. Yes. Are they weak? Yes. Are their priorities screwed? Yes, as far as I'm concerned. But it is what it is. And you have to know your people and you have to respect them. And I respect him for doing that. And I 100% respect him to doing that, you know, because you need to understand your own people and where they're at. And that means that sometimes things wouldn't be ideal, but it's better than going against the psychology and where your people are at the moment. So, yeah. So here our reanimation brought tears to my eyes. This family is finally together again. These sweet girls have their daddy back. This is incredible. It is something to be celebrated 100%. And I think that it is for the better. And I feel like people understand it's not over, but it's so important to come out with messaging right now that rebuild the purpose and the understanding of the Israelis to align themselves not just with the local, but with also the global, which is very counterintuitive to the Jewish people who like isolating themselves, you know. So it's not just, it's realigning yourself, first of all, understanding this is a fight against Islam, needing to cooperate globally with people. Mentally, it's something that the Israelis need to understand in large. It's also needing to understand that this is a fight of ideology. It's good versus bad. There's so much. And there are people that's the longest time, they just wanted to be in their own village, in their own mindset, you know, leave us alone, we'll leave you alone. But this is not how the world works. And to grow out of that mindset for a lot of Israelis is a long process that takes time, and where they're at now mentally is not where they were 2 years ago. 2 years ago, when I told people what woke is, they didn't know. They wouldn't believe me that something like that even existed. They thought this is ludicrous. Nobody would, like, trying to explain to Israelis when I made my anti-Semitism video. The first version was an hour and a half, just talking about anti-Semitism. But throughout the video, I also mentioned the woke culture. And when I showed it to my family and I showed it to my friends and Israelis in general, they didn't understand what woke is. They didn't know what woke is. And more than that, like, they said, like, it doesn't exist. You are making that up. And I was like, what are you talking about? Nobody could be. No one is that crazy. So I added a full hour just to explain what woke culture is. And now every Israeli, Baruch Hashem, knows what woke is, right? So even the idiot Israelis are improving. And bit by bit, right? So now it is fair to also understand that more than it's a break to realign your psychology for many people who were, they thought that we are a small nation. Why would anyone care about this area? Just leave us alone. But no, you have to understand and change your mindset from you're not a periphery, you're the spearhead, and you need to understand your responsibility and your position as a spearhead and change the psychology to understand that you carry the world on your shoulders. Just like the Torah said, the Torah that you like making fun of, saying, oh, we're chosen. Yes, you were chosen. And you can say that the world had elected you. We didn't elect it. Israelis did not elect it. But what the world is showing right now, the way they're behaving, is that they had elected us. So we need to understand that leadership is not always a choice. Sometimes it's imposed on you. So look at that beautiful freed hostage Matan, so can get hold of the sign that reads Am Yisrael Chai, you did this, Matan came home. This is incredible. Thank goodness. May God let's give this woman some peace of mind, and may we never see her in a public space again. Oh, this is so beautiful. They kicked out Ayman Uda and Ofer Kasif. And I saw people were like, are they leftists? Are they Arabs? Like, people were arguing. So for the record, Ofer Kasif is Jewish, Ayman Uda is Muslim. And the truth that, considering the fact that they're both part of the Communist Party of Israel, they're communists. Their God is communism. So, and they were kicked out. And look at that, it's amazing. It's so funny. I actually want to see the comments as well.
Be in World War III right now. Peace in the Middle East. Would be in World War III right now with some of these guys. Everybody loves Steve, and they respect him, and they somehow can relate to him. I've known him for many years, and I've seen it over and over again.
להוציא את חבר הכנסת עודה, להוציא אותו מהאולם, להוציא אותו מיד, החוצה, החוצה, החוצה. להוציא גם את חבר הכנסת כסיף, להוציא את חבר הכנסת כסיף מהאולם, להוציא אותו מיד.
Okay, so it's incredible that they were about to like have a protest sign against Trump. So they just, they didn't, like, now I see, like, because I saw a clip before, but it was cut off. It was like, I didn't say like the reason they were kicked off, but it's not that they uttered something. It's not even that they booed. It's just the fact that they were about to, like, with this signing, and it was like, okay, out. And you know what's funny? That I heard like the translation from Hebrew to English, and the English says, please get Ayman Uda out of the hole, and please get Ofer Kasif out of the hole. And it's so funny because it's not a translation. Because in Hebrew is actually shouting, get them out, get them out, get them out now, without any please or thank yous. Just get them out, which is so funny. It's so funny. Oh my god. Which idol is worse, communist or Islamist? Islam is worse. 100% Islam is worse. But it's so funny. It's like that they, when translating to English, please get them out. And it's like, fuera, afuera, out. And then everybody is like, woo. No, it's not Tetzeh Bachutz. Tetzeh Bachutz is not proper Hebrew. They're saying hachutza, out. I love it. That was such a beautiful moment. I was like, that was my favorite. So, the Trump, that was very efficient. I saw somewhere, I saw a version where there are, I thought it was fun to see. Let's hear what there's.
I mean, you were saying to me the other day that Hamas has been trying to feed them up, sort of gavard them in preparation of releasing them.
Yeah, I do have an intelligence link in Israel who told me that a few days ago that Hamas took them out of kind of that starvation routine maybe 10, 12 days ago. And they've been desperately trying to feed them up so they didn't.
Yeah, 100. It was so clear. Oh, you know what I forgot to say? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I forgot to say, like in the beginning, when I explained the whole situation. Another reason is that at this point, so notice that Israel knew exactly who is alive, who isn't. So Israel has a very strong intelligence, so they knew exactly what the situation of every hostage is. And at some point, keeping the hostages alive became a real, I think, probably, it is extremely hard for the Hamas people. And another risk that they had realized that they're facing is that if the hostages would die in captivity, Israel would know. And when Israel would know that all the hostages are dead, they would change their strategy from, going, like even the left would change the strategies, because once it's bodies, it would change it to dig up the whole of Gaza. If we need to dig the whole of Gaza up to find all the bodies, then dig it out. And it was a risk, for them as well. And I think it started being hard, one, to keep them alive, second, to just take them and move them logistically from place to place, and as the IDF is entering. So that's another one. And yes, it was obvious, and I forgot to say that they took the time that they had since the declaration to make sure that the hostages would fatten up a little bit.
Didn't look so horrendous on the cameras when they were released, which also speaks, I think, to just how media aware Hamas are. That every bit of this will be, everything we've seen from them on the ground is incredibly choreographed, and these prisoners weren't people to them. They were PR tools. It's just yet another, as if one were needed, an example of just how evil Hamas is.
Yeah, and on the Israeli side, they were trying to stop Hamas from doing that because of the health dangers of being starved for so long and then suddenly being given loads of food, which just speaks, that tells you everything that you need to know about the Israeli attitude towards human life and compassion, and getting its people home above anything else, and Hamas's attitude towards a position where all humanity is expendable in the cause of jihad. They're all just in the waiting of
yeah, the jihad didn't end. They're all going to continue until they're all dead, because the only way. So here's another reason why the war would continue, is because the whole Arab, geographically, like the whole, the ecosystem is about to collapse. So yeah, why not just take the world with them when they're going down? That's the psychology here as well. Shana, I was praying for the hostages when they were being given food toward the end. I was so worried about them being poisoned, even on accident. I mean, I think that Hamas didn't, it wasn't worth it at this point. But Yeah, I agree. I was very, like, everybody were worried until like they finally had them.
A paradise, and death is better than life for them.
Yeah, it is. Death is better than life for them because nobody even ever loved them, especially not their mothers. If somebody didn't love them at all, it's their mother for sure.
Success and hope and love and God. And the people of America have never lost faith in the promise of a great and blessed future for all of us.
Amen.
From the very first day that modern Israel was founded, we have stood together through thick and thin of setbacks and through victory and defeat, through glory and heartache. We have built industries together. We have made discoveries together.
Amen.
We have confronted evil together, and we have waged war together. And perhaps most beautifully of all, we have made peace together. And this week, against all odds, we have done the impossible and brought our hostages home. So now we're going to forge a future that is worthy of our heritage. We're going to build a legacy that all the people of this region can be proud of. New bonds of friendship, cooperation, and commerce will join Tel Aviv to Dubai, Haifa to Beirut, Jerusalem to Damascus, and from Israel to Egypt, from Saudi Arabia to Qatar, from India to Pakistan, from Indonesia to Iraq, from Syria to Bahrain, Turkey to Jordan, the United Arab Emirates to Oman, and Armenia to Azerbaijan, another war that I just settled. We are going to have hope, harmony, opportunity, and happiness here in the spiritual and geographic center of the entire world. That's what you are. Israel, America, and all of the nations of the Middle East will soon be safer, stronger, greater, and more prosperous than ever before.
Just for the record, by the way, I really hope someone strong and maybe less corrupt than Trump would be there to succeed his place in America. May you, I hope the Americans, you guys Americans, I don't believe in praying too much, but pray every day and all day, all the night, that leader that is ideally less corrupt than Trump, but just as strong and would rise to inherit the throne.
And I want to thank you all once again for this exceptional honor. This has been truly an honor. It's seldom that a president is invited to do this. And I love Israel. I'm with you all the way. You will be bigger, better, stronger, and more loving than ever before. Thank you very much.
This is leadership, I think all the people who support Israel, I think they needed to watch this to understand what kind of rhetoric shows support, like how you speak when you truly want to stand up as a leader and set up a mindset and show the way and pave the way. This is the rhetoric you use, not this mumbo jumbo, like weak, apologetic, pathetic kind of rhetoric that the supporters of Israel in the United States had been using.
Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless the United States of America, and God bless the Middle East. Thank you, everybody.
Without a shrink of hesitance, God bless America. God bless Israel. God bless the Middle East. God bless the world. Yes, thank you. Amen. Rebecca, you are still attacking Trump. Is your greatest ally. Stop attacking everyone, Lord. I'm a Jew. In Judaism, every single person, every single leader, Moses to David, were criticized. because every human is not perfect. I'm not putting anyone on a pedestal like you Americans do. Every slightest bit of criticism breaks your mentality down because you are so weak mentally. Anyway, thank you so much for your support, Shauna. I love you. 90-10, Israel, America, together. Oh, Trump. It is okay, though. We are, after all, the leaders that had been elected without our consent, but it is what it is. So, as spearheads, this is what it's like. That is 100% what it's like. And by the way, in America, Trump does a lot of the heavy lifting, a lot, and goes against his own dysfunctional system a lot. So, yes. I want to finish with God bless. So it's a good note.
God bless you. God bless the United States of America, and more loving than ever before. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless the United States of America, and God bless the Middle East. Thank you, everybody. Good luck. Thank you very much.
All right. That is amazing. God bless you. God bless us. God bless America. God bless Israel. And it's incredible that it happened. And it's a time of celebration. And I think I will stop desecrating the Sabbath that I've been doing in the last 30 minutes almost. So thank you, everybody. Bless you all. Amen.